Old Granny Ana is coming back. If you're looking to get started with or learn some tips for this hero, I've got you covered with the top 7 tips to master Ana. My name is Nathan, and welcome to Blizzard Guides. Before we get into this video, there's 2 things. First, this guide is going to be covering each part of Ana's kit with some tips and tricks for each part, and then we're going to go a bit more in depth, answering questions like when to scope versus unscope, or stuff like ammo management and specific combos of primary fire, nade, and melee that you can do. And second, if you like what we're doing here and you want to see more guides like this or weekly highlight videos, seriously consider getting subscribed and joining the notification squad. I want to build a strong community, and I love getting comments from you guys suggesting what I should cover. This guide came from one of you guys out there, so seriously, I appreciate it a lot. Anyway, let's get right into this video. At number 7, nade. Ana's grenade is the best healing option in the game at the moment, with the insane ability to just deny heals to the enemy while also healing the ally really effectively. There's specific situations that you want to look for, and then just general stuff. Friendly grabs, enemy transcendences, tank fights, and for flankers are the general, pretty much always use it here situations. If you're not in one of those scenarios, you want to govern your nade usage by 3 simple questions. Firstly, do I need to use nade here? Secondly, how will I need it in the next 10 seconds? And thirdly, how will the enemy team respond? For example, if the enemy isn't going to back down and you're not going to get a pick from it, it's probably just a good idea to keep your nade for later whenever you will actually need it for your allies. And similarly, if your ally is low and your ally is about to die, using nade in that situation will definitely be somewhere that you want to use it. Basically, you really just want to make sure that whenever you use nade, you're getting the most value that you can out of it, since it is such an impactful ability. And also, you really just want to take priority over what needs the healing the most or the anti the most. So try and aim it closer to the ally that needs the most health, while still also trying to get other allies that are nearby or enemies as well. Just try and make sure that you get the most priority out of your nade first. And also, you can shoot, nade, and shoot again to get a quick burst, since when you throw Ana's grenade, it will actually also cancel the shooting animation. And if you're going to be near allies, just always make sure that you're not going to hit an ally if you try and go for a long range nade, since you will usually end up accidentally hitting that ally. You can always just jump before you throw it so that you don't accidentally hit that ally. That's another thing to remember before you go for the nade shot. At number 6, we're going to be talking about ammo management. Ammo management is going to be the biggest crux you have as Ana. If you can't be shooting at the right time and you have to reload, it could be the difference between the life or death of your ally. Basically, you want to use as little ammo and reload as often as possible before a fight starts. If the enemy is far back and you're not in immediate danger, you can just reload and unload as much ammo as possible. In that situation though, I definitely try and keep more than 10 shots in my gun, just in case the enemy speeds or dives in. Once the fight breaks out, however, feel free to dump all of your shots out, reloading only once you hit 1 to 2 shots left, unless you need to immediately heal, in which those last 2 shots can be used to quickly pop an extra 80 HP. Next up at number 5, sleep dart. To improve your accuracy, I just seriously recommend setting your sleep dart to a mouse button if it's possible. It's awkward shooting something with the A shift ability, so switching that will show you immediate improvement. To summarize when to use sleep dart, you're really just only going to want to use it to prioritize tanks if the sleep accuracy isn't good, since sleeping an enemy tank shows more value and is easier to do than sleeping any other hero. If you're trying to sleep something mobile, I recommend that you press the sleep dart key and then flick towards the hero. It's a lot easier to land that shot because flicking ends up being more accurate with sleep dart, oddly enough. Also, it's always worth pre-firing a shot and canceling the animation of that shot with sleep dart. If the sleep dart needs to be deployed absolutely immediately, then you probably don't want to pre-fire, but if you have a fraction of a second to wait, pre-firing a shot can sometimes help you kill the target if you land the sleep afterwards. Also, sometimes blindly throwing a dart into a team fight is worthwhile. Coming in at number 4, combos. Ana has a few important combos that you should know about. First off, with the target like Tracer, grenading, meleeing, and then landing another shot in any order will kill her. I often try to land one shot and then let her get close up and follow up with a melee and then nade, since that will kill her and heal me. If the Tracer is playing too far for you to get that nade to heal you, you can sometimes just nade yourself and go for a second shot, since 2 shots in a melee will also kill her. Also remember that Ana kills in 3 shots, so that's something to consider. If you get 2 shots off onto an enemy, using grenade is a really good option if you have it. Now, when you sleep, there's a combo that almost always works that you want to use. If the enemy is slept and has already taken some damage, shooting, grenading, and then meleeing will almost always kill them. And if you have already landed a shot on them before you slept, shooting and then grenading will always kill them because of that triple damage combo. At number 3, nano usage. Nano is really only going to be useful in 2 situations. First, nanoing a low health ally that you know you can heal up. If you really need to keep them alive, nanoing them and then grenading them will usually keep them from dying. And if it's post Ana buff and nano now heals, you don't even have to use grenade anymore, and nanoing critical allies will be an even stronger use of nano. Basically, you can just use nano as an instant revive for your ally if they haven't already completely died. Nano will give them a buff to their damage resistance as well as healing them instantly for that 30 HP and then giving them a damage buff so that they can kind of go crazy. I think that using nano and letting your tank overextend and just assuring them that you can nano them to bail them out is going to be another option that you will see with this buffed Ana. And then there's also just the basic nano usage where you combo it with ults like Blade, Visor, or Bastion's ult. And also as a quick tip, if you find that you're often shooting the wrong ally, you can change a setting such that the radius from which the autolock connects is smaller, which for an accurate Ana is a really good option. I personally set mine to 30%. At number 2, when to scope versus unscope. Whenever you're at long range, you pretty much always want to scope. Unless you're 100% sure that you can land a no scope from the distance or the enemy / ally that you're healing is stationary, you're probably going to want to scope. And then when you're at close range, there's a few things to consider. If you know that you're more accurate with the scope, you're just going to want to use the scope whenever you need to clutch heals, even if you're at a pretty close range. Some Ana players will say that you really only want to scope whenever you have to, but I actually disagree with that quite a lot. If you're more accurate with the scope, quick scoping so that the bullet instantly travels is a much better use in my opinion, because you really just don't want to miss. But if you're very accurate with the no scoping more often is much better, and quick scoping whenever necessary is going to be the backup option. However, it really just comes down to what you're more accurate with. Scoping only becomes 100% necessary at long range, and no scoping only becomes 100% necessary whenever the ally that you're trying to heal is directly next to you. But overall, it really just comes down to preference and whatever you're more accurate with. However, once you do become accurate with both, I do recommend strongly that you no scope as often as possible. I'm at the point where I average about 70% accuracy with both, so I pretty much only no scope whenever I can, and I only scope in whenever I have to land the shots. And lastly, at number 1, positioning tips. As Ana, if your scoped accuracy is good and the map allows you to have the sight lines to see your allies without you seeing the enemies, sitting as far back as possible is your best bet by far. An Ana that is out of sight of the enemy and far away is the best Ana, as it forces the enemy to either overcommit to killing you or deal with your impossibly good and long range heals. However, if the map doesn't allow that, playing at close range and using that nade to self heal and deal damage to the enemies is definitely acceptable. And it can play really well at close range if you make use of that nade as much as possible and sleep dart whenever you can, and just back up whenever you're falling in danger. The only exception to this is if your tanks aren't peeling for you enough, since you need a little bit more protection as Ana than if you were playing something like Mercy. High ground is also your best friend, so make use of that whenever you can. You shouldn't ever be in front of your tanks really as well. There's a few situations where it might be better for you to be in front of your tanks, but really you always want to be behind as much as possible. And in general, when you're playing Ana, you're going to have to use that nade to back you up whenever you're positioned into a risky spot. You can definitely go for those, just make sure that you have something to bail you out, whether it be sleep dart if you're accurate with that, or nade if you just need the self heals.
This is the typical diamond team. They think they can DPS all the time. Widow sleeping. In case you did not know that, you can sleep somebody over there.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know if I could have improved anything, or if you have any tips for other people in the comments down below. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and your comments about my videos and your suggestions really are very important to me, and they help me to improve these guides a lot. And also, if you want to see any guides specifically in particular, let me know in the comments down below, as I am always reading those and I really do enjoy your suggestions. And if you like this kind of video, or you want to see more highlight videos, or you just enjoy these guides, consider getting subscribed and hitting the notification icon to get notified when we upload, so that you can be first to comment on our videos and get those suggestions out a lot faster. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a nice day. My name is Nathan, and this was Blizzard Guides. You may have seen or heard that we are launching an IGTV channel, so if that's your kind of thing and you're interested, feel free to hop on over there and give us a follow. We post video announcements as well as dank memes.